There's a lot of words here. And we all know that I love words. So you can go read through this. Just know, when we talk material costs, we are specifically dividing it into direct and indirect. Right? Direct being your raw material. Same with labor. I've already done that. Manufacturing overheads, that's all your expenses that's specifically inside the factory. Okay, there's terminology. You can go look. We'll go through them as we work. Okay, so I've already mentioned, oh, bless you. I already mentioned direct or raw material stock, work in process, also called work in progress, finished goods, consumable stores, direct labor, indirect labor, factory overheads. I will talk about fixed costs, variable costs at a later stage. Okay, let's go on to the exercise. So, this is your formats. So, a production cost statement is basically, remember when I showed you the work in process T account? It's basically the work in process. So we start with the direct material cost. This is the direct material that was issued. Okay, now you will see there's a note for it. So the note is right here at the bottom. It says, it's the opening balance. Net purchases. So it would be cash and credit less returns. What returns? When we return. Right. Then carriage on purchases, custom duties. So can you see we are loading the cost? That is so that it's included in the price that I ask the clients in the end. Then I less the balance the end of the year, and then I get the direct material cost, which is the issued ones. So in other words, if they give you the issued raw material, you already have it. You don't have to first calculate it. Okay. Then direct labor cost. So direct labor, always remember, this is wages. This is only wages, and it's only for the factory workers. And a wage has got a norm time and it's got an overtime. So you have to calculate both of them. You also need to remember you want the gross and contributions. Can you see it's what we would put in an income statement? So just take all of that into consideration. Can you see there's your factory wage, which would be the gross. And the gross would consider of the norm plus the overtime. Then you have all your contributions. And that gives you your direct labor cost. Okay. So now, if I have my direct material, my direct labor, I added that is called the primary cost. Prime cost. Then I add the expenses, the factory overheads. Then it gives me the total manufacturing cost. If I look here at the work in process, can you see it's those three? It's only the new stuff. It's not the stuff that I had left over. So now only do I add the work in process the beginning of the year, meaning the stuff I didn't finish. Then I subtract the work in progress the end of the year, and that gives me the cost of production of finished goods. Be very careful. This is, I want you to hear this. This is very important. This is not the cost of sales. This is the cost of the products that's now going to finished goods. In other words, it's this one. If I look here, can you see? It will be this one. Okay. Yes.
What's the empty space for?
What? It's a subtotal.
So there's nothing gonna be there.
And you won't get marks for it. Okay, let's start with question 1.
Is it going to be as tough as balance sheet, man?
No, it's really easy. It's like the exercise that you can really get a lot of marks for. So let's start. First thing you'll see is they give me opening balances on the 1st of April for direct material, work in progress, finished goods, and consumable stores on hand. Okay, so I just want to say to you, when you do consumable stores, you have an opening balance, which is that one. Then whatever you buy, whatever you return, né? And you have a closing balance. And that here is what you usually close to profit and loss. Né? But now I'm not going to have my profit and loss. I'm going to take it to factory overheads, admin, sales and distribution, because everybody's got a cleaner. Ne? Offices needs to be cleaned. Where I'm selling the goods, so my display cabinets needs to be cleaned. You guys get it? Okay. And then they give me transactions that happened. And then can you see here? So this is the opening balance. And can you see here? They give me the closing balance. Can you see? Again, direct, work in process, finished goods, consumable stores. You see? Okay. And they give me a few adjustments. So now I'm asking you, you should do for me the production cost statement. So, I know with direct material costs, I need the material issued. Okay. So I quickly scan. Oh, they gave it to me. Can you see there? Raw material issued. So I put it in 82,000. I am just going to, yeah, there's no extra stuff. Okay. Direct labor. So there they say factory wages paid. Okay, let's see. They say number 2. The wages journal for March has not yet been posted. Gross wages are 66 and contribution so much. So I take that factory wages paid, the 66. I add the gross and I add the contribution. So that gives me what?
73,800.
Okay, and now I need to total. Now I need my factory overhead. So now this is all my expenses. So the first thing I want to do is I want to see my consumable stores. So consumable stores starts with 5. I see I bought 15. Nee? Did I return anything? No. Ooh, I see I left out something. Can you see here is medical contribution? So I should have added the 13 there also. So this is actually 86,800, and this then gives me 158. Isn't it 168? Thank you, baby. Okay, sorry about that. Then I see I'm looking for consumables. I'm looking, there's only, in the adjustments, there's only a closing balance. Ne? of 6. There was nothing returned. So what goes to factory overheads? Because they didn't say that it's split. So it goes all to the factory. How much is that? 15 plus 5, it's 20 less 6, gives me 14. Okay. So factory overheads, I've got 14. So let's quickly look what else. I've done consumables, I've done raw, factory wages. Factory electricity, 3,000. Maintenance, 8,000. I've done the medical aid. Factory rent, 24,000. Depreciation, 15. No? And then there's sales, which I don't use. And if I go through the adjustments, there's nothing else. So let's total for factory overheads. $64. Okay. Now I get my total manufacturing cost. 8 plus 4 gives me 12. Is that right? Is it right? Now I take the opening for work in process, which is 40. So it means I'm going to add. I'm going to subtract the closing. And this gives me so that's the cost of my production. If I ask you, I'm asking you, what is the cost of sales? If you want the cost of sales, you're going to draw a little T for finished goods. You're going to take the opening for finished goods. You're going to take the closing for finished goods. Everybody see where I'm getting it? I take this amount, because this is now added to the finished goods, because I can now also sell this. And now I just balance on cost of sales. How much is that? So it's 351. Is it going to be 300, 800?
Yes.
You see?